We shall continue with the chapter Administrative Structures, Policies and Impact of British Rule. In that, we shall deal with the British economic policies and their impact. In the previous episode, we discussed the various land policies and land revenue issues followed by the British. In this episode, we shall discuss industry and trade prevalent before the British arrived and the industrial decline post their arrival. We shall start with the industry and trade. Prior to the arrival of the British, the industrial population of India consisted of two parts. One was the village artisans, the other were the specialists in crafts like the carpenters, potters, etc. It was a hereditary occupation among themselves, and they also practiced part-time cultivation whenever they were not involved in their crafts. Both these categories of population were patronized by the princes. The craftsmen had not only domestic markets, but they also had international demand and international markets for their goods. We also had specialist products, amongst which cotton was the chief. We also had muslin and calico, chief luxury varieties. Now, muslin was a lightweight cotton cloth. Our shipping industry of the 17th and 18th century was said to be far superior to the English. We shall discuss the industrial decline post the arrival of the British. It started with the abolition of the princely states and subsequent wars which were fought by the British to consolidate their position in India. The Britain laws of 1700 and 1720, they prohibited the entry of Indian textiles into Britain. This was owing to the contribution made by the Indian textiles, which eventually led to the crippling of the Britain's domestic industry during those days. Indian chintz from Lucknow were popular among the English women. Now, these chintz were a type of textile with floral patterns printed on them. This was eventually replaced by the British printers. English textile industry was revolutionized with industrial revolution and mechanization, which was one of the main reasons for industrial decline. The cotton producers were not allowed to work for anybody. They were forced to sell at rates 20 to 40% cheaper than market value. Anybody who resisted was met with brute force. One such case was seen amongst the muslin producers from Dhaka when they tried to resist such a policy. There was manipulation of raw cotton prices. That is, they bought cheap cotton from Deccan region and they sold it at high prices at Bengal. This impoverished the weaving community. Industrial Bengal lay in ruins at the end of the 18th century thanks to the policy followed by the British. The British goods to India were often charged near nil duty, whereas the Indian goods which were to be exported to Britain were charged very high import duty. The nature of exploitation of India by British can be explained as under. India was not only a source but also a destination. It was a source for raw materials which moved to Britain, and it was also a market and destination for finished products which came out of the Britain industrial shed. With this, we finished the discussion and also the chapter. Thank you.